With the side order DLC coming out in just 9 days, thought it might be nice to go over the trailer and see what little tidbits of information we can glean from it. Side Order is set in an abandoned Inkopolis square covered in bleached coral. The environment contains mercury-like cubes that go together and dissolve, as well as keyboards to the side going along with the computer theme of the whole DLC. We also see that the ground is covered in sand, which Agent 8 makes footprints in and kicks up as she walks. It's a bit hard to tell exactly which species of fish these are, as we don't really get a whole ton of features. This particular one with the big forehead could be a variety of fish, but I think given the coral theming, it's likely to be a parrotfish. It would be easy to assume that the two other fish with it, the small and medium ones, are then also parrotfish. But parrotfish have small dorsal fins, and they don't really look anything like the tiny fish. So, for now, I'm not sure what species those are. Next, we have these seahorse totem turtles, which seem to be just kind of snipers, I guess. These sunfish are a special kind of enemy with levels dedicated specifically to them and catching them and killing them. But instead of having the regular bone-like interior, these have metal structures. Hanging from the ceiling are these strange upside-down fish, I guess. They just kind of look like the medium kind of fish, but just on their tails for some reason. I had first thought that these might be ping pong's tree sponges, but upon closer examination it seems to be eggs from which these explosive football fish spawn from. These tentacle-looking enemies are actually a type of fish called lampreys, which latch onto their prey really more as a parasite than an active predator. I'm not exactly sure if this certain enemy was supposed to be a specific species or not, but we do get a name, which is nice. We get the pinging Martial. Martial, by the way, means martial. So it's like computer stuff mixed with fighting, I guess. It's kind of a weird name, though. Hopefully we'll get more information for why that name makes sense later in the future. These crab-like enemies appear to drop bombs. And lastly, of course, we have the boss tower enemy. The first gameplay mode we have seen so far is where just a bunch of enemies spawn out of what looks like an egg mixed with a buoy. But now we know that in order to stop the spawning of enemies, you just have to splat the buoy. Each of these levels seems to have a certain number of buoys that you're supposed to splat before the level is completed. We already talked about the sunfish chasing levels, but I just want to take a moment to point out how cute the little pointer is. Instead of being squid, it's an octopus here, and I just think that's a nice detail. It also looks like we'll have more 8-ball levels, splat zone levels, and something sort of similar to tower control, where you blast this tall sprinkler to get it to the goal. Lastly, there's this icon for a mode that I'm not entirely sure which one it's supposed to be. Agent 8 arrives to each level inside of a cage. The gearboxes for upgrading armor are the same as all previous story modes, but the canned specials are smaller and have Marina's logo now on them. The main currency here is Membucks, which is reminiscent, of course, of the Mem cakes from Octo Expansion. There's another secondary kind of currency known as pearls, where you can purchase more permanent things. Speaking of Pearl, it seems that her drone can be upgraded to have a variety of just helpful aid, including bombs, and a sprinkler, and even a special attack. And these are all charged up in gauges over time. Many fans, just like me, were curious about where Marina was in all of this, but we actually see in the trailer that she is somehow using hacking to help us, which could mean she is actually not an enemy like we had assumed. It seems more likely to me now that instead of Marina being the one behind all of this, it's whoever this red smiling cloud is. With each level giving Agent 8 a new chip for the palette, we can easily infer that there are 36 levels to get to the top. Anyway, that's all for this trailer. Obviously the game is coming out super soon, and I'm super excited. If you have anything that I missed or that you want to add, feel free to do whatever in the comments. I want to hear it, I do. Anyway, bye.